All my jewelry is fake. All of it.
Oh my God.
This doesn't work. This is from, it doesn't work. It says costume. I don't spend money on jewelry. I think it's stupid.
Why would you need to? People know
dumb.
you can afford it.
I'm Vivian Tu, aka Your Rich BFF and your favorite Wall Street girly.
I'm Brian Walsh, aka Dr. Money, and I lead financial planning at SoFi.
And this is Richer Lives, the show that helps you learn how to use your money to live your best life.
We all want more dollar signs in our bank account.
But also more fulfillment, satisfaction, and success.
So we're here to bring you conversations with inspiring guests.
Who've been where you are and are now where you want to be.
And we'll provide guidance that aims to get you there step by step.
Because everyone deserves the opportunity to live richer lives.
I'm so excited. I love our guest today.
I'm a little bit starstruck. But then again, you're a pretty famous celebrity too, right?
Celebrity's generous. I too will want an autograph from Karamo, so you're gonna have to get in line.
Okay, but before we go any further, let's get some introductions out of the way.
Yes.
I'm Vivian Tu, aka Your Rich BFF and your favorite former Wall Street girly. You can find me doling out advice on social media every day, and I also have a podcast, Net Worth and Chill, and a book coming out very soon.
Nice. Well, I'm Brian Walsh, aka Dr. Money, and I'm a PhD and certified financial planner certificate. I lead advice and planning strategy at SoFi. I'm also a registered representative of SoFi Securities LLC and an investment advisor representative of SoFi Wealth LLC. Basically, that means I have to follow the rules and not misrepresent anything during the show, which I think is a good thing because my job is to help people get their money right, and that's what we're here to do today.
And in transparency, I'm a non-client promoter of SoFi Wealth, and everybody you'll hear from today has been compensated by SoFi for their time. Whether it's finances or just life, everyone needs a helping hand sometimes. Luckily, our guest has made it his mission in life to help others. You might know him from 7 seasons of Queer Eye, but he first graced our TV screens back on The Real World Philadelphia, and he is now the host of his very own talk show, The Karamo Show. He's also an author and an activist, and his goal in every show is apparently to make everyone cry. So get out your tissues. Today, we're gonna find out how he leads a rich life. Welcome, Karamo.
Thank you for having me.
Of course.
So we like to start off with a fun question.
Okay.
Just to break things up a little bit. So let's say the US Mint comes to you and says, okay, $20 bill. You could pick whoever's on it. Who are you putting on the $20 bill?
Well, we already had Harriet try to get on there. Did she get approved?
Yeah, so starting in 2030, Harriet Tubman will be on the $20 bill.
Wow, Harriet? Okay,
Yeah.
I live for that. So do they have to be famous or can they just be anybody?
Anybody you want.
I'd probably put myself on $20 bill. Why not? I like money.
Love that.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm trying. Oh, you know what? Actually, I'm gonna be real with you. I'd put Barack on a $20 bill or another something because I just think his impact was profound. And I think later on, whether you're a Republican or whatever, one day people will look back and be like, wow, there wasn't one scandal. Wow, there wasn't any of this. Like, he set the bar pretty high for presidents. And so, Barack.
Okay, so now let's change it. $100 bill.
Okay,
you
that
throwing
one's
that?
me.
Okay.
That one's me. That one's me. Okay, we'll put Barack on that 20. I'm getting the $100 bill. Yeah.
I was actually gonna say to put Kamala Harris on there, just knowing that she was the first woman of color in that type of office, obviously has made a great impact. And for young women to look and say, these highest level of offices are not out of reach for someone who looks like me is amazing.
I feel like I have the most boring answer here.
What
I'm
did you
going
do?
with Daniel Kahneman.
I don't know who that is.
Yeah,
Okay, so he's like one of the founding fathers of behavioral finance. So I'm a huge financial nerd, yeah. And so behavioral finance is kind of like you combine psychology and personal finance. And that makes sense to me because it's not just like what you do with your money, but why you do that and how you do it.
Amen.
And that's the
That's
trick.
right.
So I gotta throw some love his way.
Okay, can I change my answer?
Sure.
I would put Kamala on the 20, but on the 100, I would put Mickey Siebert because she was the first woman to ever have a seat on the New York Stock Exchange.
Love that.
She's
Good one.
a woman all about her cash.
So I'm getting a history lesson here too. So I throw my mom on the 100.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I
that's-
know. I'm a mama's
My mom's
boy.
gonna be so mad I didn't say her now.
This show is brought to you by SoFi, the bank with a mission to help you get your money right. FYI, everybody you'll hear from today has been compensated by SoFi for their time, because time's money, right? And for most people, one of the most difficult parts of finances is keeping track of it all. Your bank accounts, student loans, 401ks, investing accounts, the list goes on and on and on. They're all in different places and there's no rhyme or reason why.
It's honestly so chaotic. I talk to people all the time that maybe even forget they have a retirement account somewhere. Let's face it, we move past the days of like keeping track of our spending in a physical checkbook. I think it's time we move past that and have all of our finances all in one spot to track.
It's time to have one place to turn for all of your finances. It's time to move to SoFi, the all-in-one app for your money. You can bank, borrow, and invest all in the same place. Download the app and get started today by visiting SoFi.com/richerlives.
So I'd love to know, Karamo, what does rich mean to you? And do you consider yourself rich?
Where I am is in a celebratory place. And so, yes, I'm rich. And what rich means to me is working hard, enjoying what you love, and being rewarded and compensated for it.
100%.
I'm in my talk my shit era, just to let you know right now. We didn't grow up with money. We grew up poor. We didn't have a lot of things. I remember memories of moving out of the house in the middle of the night. Literally, we would come home and my dad would be like, oh, we gotta go. And we would live in a hotel. We actually lived in a hotel, I think my oldest sister's senior year for a little bit. Like, I don't know how long it was. To me, it felt like 2 weeks. It could have been 3 days, but I don't know. But I do consider myself rich because I've worked my butt off, and I'm gonna talk about it, and I'm gonna share it, and I'm not gonna be embarrassed, because I think sometimes when we equate our success with money, we get embarrassed that either if you brag about it too much, people are gonna hate on you, or if you talk about it, then maybe people are going to rob you. You know, we have all these fears, and I don't live in a fear-based place anymore in my life.
You mentioned confronting financial fears head on.
Yeah.
You've mentioned in the past that you have gotten into some debt. Can you tell us how you got there, what happened, give us the juicy details? Because I think one thing we love to do on this show is really humanize the experience and show that, you know, it's not easy to be perfect with your finances, and nobody is, even if you are now very financially smart, very, very good with your money.
Yeah, no, there was a cute moment right after I got out of college. Like in college, I didn't have any debt. There was no debt there. It was
nice, okay.
Bills and stuff were paid off. I was smart enough to know, don't fall for sign up for your first credit card.
Yeah.
But with that being said, I also didn't build any credit. So I got out of college, and now I need to build credit, and now I'm like living my life in LA, and you give me my first credit card, and there's also a cute club that happens on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday night. Saturday is also a cute night for the club, and then you gotta end it off with a Sunday with a cute brunch.
LA is just a cute place to be.
It is a cute place to go out. And so now I'm looking at all of the financial debt from because I was half financial aid, half scholarships.
Yeah.
All the financial aid stuff now caught up, and Miss Sally was calling my phone weekly, and this is before you could be like, spam, don't call me no more. You know what I mean?
Run me my money.
Yeah, she was like, run me my money, and then on top of that, now I'm enjoying this life. I was on campus and I caught the bus everywhere, so I didn't have a car. Now I need to buy a car, and trying to keep up with some of my friends. I got a car that I know damn well I shouldn't have gotten. It was like a brand new luxury car.
Ooh, fancy.
Yeah, very fancy. And it was like, oh snap. Yeah. And I was still maintaining my bills, but I just saw the debt piling up and up and up up. And that's why I talk so transparently about not avoiding it, because there was a moment there that I was too afraid to confront it. And I was too afraid to say, I don't know what I'm doing anymore. I'm a little lost. This is out of my way.
Yeah.
And I remember we got to the point where I was 25, 26. The car that I got, my mother had co-signed for, and I was behind 6-7 months of car payments. And now they started contacting her, and now she's calling me what's going on? And I was so afraid just to face it and say, I should have asked for help. Yeah. I needed your help. And I was overwhelmed. I don't know what I was doing. And they ended up towing that car and repoing it, which thank God for repos, because I needed that repo situation. But then there was debt with that. Yeah. And that added on. And I had to really be smart about it and be like, yo, who can help me? And I literally, it's something I just repeat over and over again, because I think people are afraid to ask for help in all years of their lives. And I just started saying, who can help? Who can give me the tools and guide me out of this? Yeah. And slowly but surely, we got out of it.
I feel like, number one, your story is relatable to me. I grew up with a horrible relationship with money, and I ended up avoiding money myself. It got me in a really, really bad spot. Yeah. But as a planner, I see that all the time. So growing up with the financial background you did, going to the empowered feeling that you have now, How has that progressed, and what did that change look like over time?
It was really when my mother divorced my father, and I had to watch her figure out how to survive and how to make sure that we were okay. And then even from there, watching my sisters get jobs to survive and maintain lives, it helped me as the youngest start to figure out, like, okay, I don't want to repeat these patterns. I was one of those people that just knew I don't need to learn lessons twice. I don't need to learn it twice. I'm still that way. Like, if you walk down here and you get cut, there's nothing more in me that I'm gonna be like, okay. Or if one of my friends dates a guy and the guy's full of, BS, and then he has a homeboy, I'm never gonna be like, oh, let me date you. I'm like, I know how this friend group is. I'm done.
We've seen this movie.
We've seen this movie. I don't need to do it.
I love that. And, talking about money, on a scale of 1 to 10, how difficult would you say it is to actually talk about money for you?
It is extremely difficult for other people, not for me anymore. And it's because of the fact that, like, I no longer live in this fear-based place. I live in a place of, I believe in the law of abundance. I believe that there is enough money to go around. I mean, let's be real. All they're doing is just figuring out one day and being like, well, let's print more. You know what I mean? So, like, the same thing for me is, like, there should be more. It's okay to want more. It's okay to desire to be paid for my work and to be compensated higher the more that I work. It's fine. And so I encourage my children and my family members to consistently have transparent conversations. I remember when I started, it was in college, and started working at a hotel to keep myself going. That was a job that I could work so that I could still maintain school and pay for school, the overnight shift. And my sister worked at a hotel, and it was about asking her, like, how are you handling your finances? And it was about being okay with asking questions, because I think sometimes when it comes to finances, you're scared. And I remember she had, like, what are those things called that people used to use in the 90s? It's like your date book. It was like before we had our cell phone. It was a planner. It was a planner. And so she used to do her finances in her planner. Ooh. And I remember being freshman year of college, going into her planner and looking at what she did and being like, is this how you do your bills? One of the things that I do when I'm in spaces at work, I am not afraid to talk about what I'm getting paid. I'm very open with it, what I've learned from women. So I'm the only boy. I have all sisters. I was raised primarily by my mom. And I see the pay gaps and the wage disparities that them as Black women have went through. And because of that, I walk into spaces and I don't mind saying, so this is the check they gave me. What they giving y'all? Let's talk about it. Let's have a conversation. Because within that conversation, within that transparency, and within the vulnerability that you're not going to seem weird or you're not going to be alone in that island of talking about your finances, comes community. And through community comes the ability to act and to make sure that everyone is getting paid what they deserve and what they're worth.
Karamo, I'm here for the gossip, the 411. I want to know, how have finances for you changed since season 1 to season 7 of Queer Eye? Obviously one of my favorite shows, so I have to ask since I have you.
So I would tell you, when it came to season 1, we were all relatively unknowns because in Netflix's eyes, even though we had all been working, we'd all done little small things. So they were able to lock us in at a rate with just like a small bump. Like all of us becoming millionaires, and I say that with a talk my shit era.
Okay,
it was not because of Queer Eye. Queer Eye did not make us money. It was luckily the fact that we were on a show that people liked us and they liked who we were. And so it allowed us to have better brand partnerships, which is what made us the money. And they were very clear. They were like, we know we picked y'all as the Fab Five, but we will go replace y'all in a heartbeat if you don't want to accept this. And so it was a gamble for us. But one of the things of me being smart and understanding that sometimes the payout doesn't come immediately, sometimes the payout comes in language. In contracts, you get to carve out what you want or what you feel like you deserve later on. And so I asked for me to be able to host a daytime talk show in syndication.
That was on your board, your manifestation board.
That was on my board because I knew what I deserved before. And so when I asked for it, Netflix laughed and it was like, yeah, we'll give this to you because the odds of that happening is not gonna happen. And so I said, I'm gonna carve in language for money that I know is coming to me. And I believe in myself and I know I'm gonna do the work. Giving me the ability to go do this and knowing I'm gonna put in the work then allowed me to go to NBC, who then did cut that cute check. Okay? And now that cute check from NBC, I'm very thankful for it. Thank you, girl. Because now I'm clear off Millionaire. And so, but if I didn't have the understanding of what I deserved, I would have been stuck with only being paid what these individuals told me.
Right.
But I knew that this opportunity was going to propel me, so I was like, okay, I'm gonna carve in language that's gonna get me the money that I know that I deserve and I'm gonna get. And it worked out. And the reason they gave it to me is because Netflix didn't know what I was worth. But I did.
Ooh. I love that. Mic drop.
Mic drop. Yeah.
If you're here watching, it's because you want to get better at managing your money. Well, one way to get your money right is to switch to a better bank. SoFi is the award-winning, all-in-one financial platform with benefits on benefits on benefits. When you set up SoFi checking and savings, you'll become a SoFi member, which unlocks a highly competitive APY for any money kept in savings. Plus, you'll get no account fees, cashback rewards, and even up to $250 when you sign up for direct deposit. So, discover better banking for yourself at SoFi.com/richerlives. We're back with Karamo exploring his rich life. We've already gotten heavy in the first part of the interview, so what do you guys say that we lighten it up with some speed round fun money questions?
All right, today's topic is self-care. You're big on self-care. What's one thing related to self-care that you are willing to indulge yourself and spend money on?
Skin cream. Like, get a lotion, girl.
You guys zoom in, look at that skin. Okay, $500. Are you buying one big thing or like a little thing over the next month?
Well, now because I got money, I'm gonna buy one big thing because I know I still can replace it. 2 years
That's
ago,
right.
7 years ago, it'd have been like one little thing every once in a while to spread it out.
Nice, okay.
All right, most money you ever spent to treat yourself?
Last year, I took my entire family to Bali. But you know what? It was like all my family members, and we had a great time.
All right, I need to know.
Okay.
What's something indulgent that a lot of people spend money on that you would never?
Jewelry. All my jewelry is fake. All of it.
Oh my God.
This doesn't work. This is from, it doesn't work. It's just costume. This is from Aldo. You know, they have the little jewelry rack and it's like $3. This one is real because it came from Dear Ehrman as a gift. But this one is, I have a whole bunch of these that are all like $2, and I don't spend money on jewelry. I think it's stupid.
Why would you need to? People know you can afford it.
Yeah, but so I'm just always like, I also don't spend money on designer clothes. So like, socks from Adidas, like $5, $15. These are $10 Zara jeans. This is a $15 shirt at $20.
Yeah.
And the reason being is because you can tell somebody that this is designer and they'll believe it. I'll be like, I'll just let someone assume. They'll be like, is that designer? I'll be like, girl, what you think?
So switching gears a little bit, Karamo, you're so knowledgeable about helping people manage and work their way through emotions. And Brian, you literally have a PhD in money. So I thought it'd be interesting to hear the parallels between emotions and finances. Karamo, you have made an entire career out of helping people shift their mindsets and develop better habits. I'm curious, in the nature versus nurture conversation, what is your take? Do you think people can change their habits for good, in particular when it comes to money?
Yes, I definitely believe that. I believe that that nurturing your curiosity about money, nurturing your ability to and desire to ask for help. I think nurturing the idea of like, I want to dream more, having bigger dreams, and not being afraid of those dreams. I believe you can nurture somebody into having better financial literacy, being more desirable, wanting more money, understanding how it works. Because I didn't have the tools. Like my father, bless his soul. I mean, he's still alive. I said that like he's dead, but bless his soul, just didn't know any better. That's why we were moving out of apartments in the middle of the night. Like he just didn't know any better. I never met his father, so I don't know what knowledge he got. And so now he's coming to this country and it was just like, one odd job after the other, one new business he's starting. It was like, what are you doing here?
Yeah.
But yet, there was something nurtured in me through my sisters, through my mom, this desire that you don't have to be this. We can break this generational curse of not having wealth and not being proud of what we've accomplished, we can actually break this and become super successful. No matter the history and the systemic issues that are here that are put in place to sort of keep myself and people of color, keep women down. Like, we can fight past that. Yes, it's a battle, and I'm not gonna pretend.
Yeah.
But you can nurture that desire for someone to want to be better when it comes to finances.
And I feel like you are a prime example that manifestation works.
Amen. Yes, it does. Manifestation with hard work and a little bit asking for help and practicing your self-esteem.
Yeah.
I practice my self-esteem daily. And the reason that's important when it comes to financial literacy for me is that you have to know what you're worth to even start to get to a place where you can achieve understanding that you should have money in your bank account. So when I wake up, I'm like, yeah, I deserve the best. So who's out there that wants to help me get the best? And how can we make sure we're uplifting each other?
So hitting on that and feeding off the whole nurture idea. Like earlier you mentioned, okay, when you change things up, it was when your car got repoed, you're seeing it getting towed away and everything like that. But then also what you
didn't see it, I hid.
Oh, you hid?
I did. Okay. I was like, they don't need me no way. They don't need the key. Like, I was like, so I'm not gonna be out there. I was supposed to be out there.
I'm not gonna lie, I probably would hide too.
Yeah, I would hide too. I was like, scared.
But and then also now, you really are good at getting people to have breakthroughs.
Yeah.
How do you think people can have that kind of breakthrough or that wake-up call when it comes to their finances? Because that may have been what yours is. I had my own wake-up call. Like, we're all gonna have that. How do you think you can kind of nudge that along a little bit?
Starts with self first. So I think the first thing anybody listening to this is ask yourself, what do you want? What do you deserve? And be thoughtful about that. Don't be afraid, and don't temper it. Because I think when it comes to our finances and our dreams, we temper it because we're scared, and we start to be like, well, okay, I can't write that. I can't put that down. Well, I know I think I deserve this, and I know I want this, but I'm not gonna write that. And they start to limit themselves immediately. And so I would immediately, what did they say in Mean Girls? Katie, when she was like, Katie Haring, there is no limit. There is no limit.
The limit does not exist.
The limit does not exist. Thank you. I knew somebody here knew Mean Girls quote. The limit doesn't exist. And so for me, it's like writing down, what do you want? What does that dream job look like? What is that dream job paying you? How are they treating you? What house are you going to be living in? What does that car look like? What does your bank account look like? I have a vision board going back to old school Oprah that I put in my memoir that I printed, and I have achieved everything from that vision board within 7 years. And I dreamed big on that. I was like, people were like, really, girl? You're really putting that on this? And I was like, yeah, I am. Because I wanted to make sure I understood what I deserved. Yeah. And then I started to ask myself, how do I get what I deserve? And so does that mean that I need to be asking for a better position or looking for a better position? Do I need to be asking people, finding myself in group circles of people who are more financially literate than me? Because that was another thing. All my homeboys, none of them had any information about like how to get more money. We were all hustling, but we were at the same level. Like,
are you still leveling up with those same friends? Because if they're not, you gotta find some new friends.
New people, And I was like, well, I'm gonna stick with y'all. I'm gonna rock with y'all, but I'm also gonna expand my network right now to be around people who actually have some of the things that I'm dreaming for, and ask them questions. Because as much as we all want to stick around and you hear we all came up together, it's cute that we came up together, but one of us has to have more information. And so for me, it's like asking yourself, now that you know what you deserve, how do I get there? Who am I talking to? What am I around? And I think as you're asking yourself those questions, there's a patience that needs to be there. Because I think we get impatient with ourselves. We start to be like, see, it's not happening quick enough. Or look, maybe I'm not worth it because I know I need a new job and I submitted 5 resumes and I'm not getting it. Or I've talked to somebody and I'm not getting in that circle of people who have the financial knowledge. Be patient. This is your journey, and your journey is going to happen. And sometimes it unravels at a faster pace for others and a slower pace for others, but it doesn't matter. It will unravel for you, and you will get the information, you will get the job you desire, but be diligent about your journey. Be okay with walking at your own pace. And as you're doing that, now collect information that's going to help you to save, to get more, to get what you need and what you deserve. And so that's why I start there, go to asking for help, and then be consistent about that journey.
See, and I think that like deliberate approach to put that system in place is so powerful, because probably one of the biggest mistakes I see working with people is they know what they want to do, they know where they're at, and they try to use willpower. or self-control to get there. They don't set up that system, whether it be who's around you, asking questions, automating your finances, you name it.
Yeah.
So I think like your example of doing that and asking those questions and being with your friends and things like that, I think that's such a powerful connection that so many people kind of skip over.
Thank you.
That makes or breaks things.
Well, because people don't realize that willpower is not really action. I'm a big believer in manifester, but manifesting is step one. It's just part of step one. It's thinking about it, writing down what you want, but that is not going to propel you. And there's not one car that is run on willpower. So your life is not about to be ran on willpower either. So you have to actually have direct, actionable steps that will get you where you need to go. And if you can't write out 5 direct, actionable steps of the things you're doing to get the life you want and deserve, then you're not moving. And you can't look around and be like, why am I not going anywhere? Well, girl, what are you doing? What was step 1? What's step 2? So what's step 3? And who are you asking for to help you to figure out those steps?
Karamo, honestly, I could listen to you all day, and I think one of your greatest—
The feeling's mutual, by the way.
Yeah, I love that. I just feel like one of your greatest strengths and one of your greatest kindnesses is how you speak about things so deliberately. You actually, we've done a little research. You don't like the phrase coming out. You prefer the phrase letting people in. Yeah. How would you say the words we choose, how we decide to talk about things, how does that impact our own visions of ourselves, our success, our money, our finances, but also our lives? Language is so important, and it's something that part of my skill set and God-given gift is to be able to listen. I had a grandmother who said to me, you got 1 mouth, 2 ears, you're supposed to be doing 1 double time. And so I'm a good listener. I'm an empathetic listener. And I realized that language has stopped people from living the life they want 100%. And we get into patterns where we start to say things and tell the world who we are, what we deserve, unconsciously because of the trauma and the things we've been through. And so, to just kind of go back to what you said about the term coming out and letting people in, I realized a long time ago that you're expecting me to have these grand come-outs and to come out to people and to let them know and give them the power to deny or accept me, when the act is actually, I'm deciding if you're worth it to be let into my life. I have the power. It's me letting you in because this is my one life. It's a privilege to be in your life.
It's a privilege to be in my life. And you don't get the power to deny or accept me. And that shift in language allows people to understand what they deserve. And we don't realize that we get into that habit of doing those things about ourselves. And then when we correlate it with how we look at our finances and money, well, if I've said to myself, well, I don't know if I'm good enough, I don't know if this works with me, this is great, I don't know about this, then the things you're going after are going to reflect that. The things that would be paying you the dividends so that you can create the financial stability that you need are going to reflect directly how you talk about yourself. So I shower myself with words of love and wealth. Yes, like, don't I look expensive today? Don't I look cute today? Like, literally, I was in the car driving here, and my sister was recording me, and I'm not joking, and the song was just about, like, how cute I am, and I was just like, and what it was is not arrogance, ego. It was joyful and playfulness, but it's also a daily practice of reminding myself that as long as I say words to myself that are going to affirm me, it's okay, because it reminds me that in every area of my life, especially when I'm talking about finances, I deserve the best because this is my life. And why wouldn't I deserve the best?
Wow, that conversation was so insightful. Thank you so much for joining us today, Karamo. It has been an absolute pleasure.
Thank you. I really am glad that you all have this space because literally this is what people need to see and be watching. So thank you, both of you. You're amazing.
Huge thanks to Karamo for the insightful discussion. My personal favorite part was when he talked about how his older sister was better with money, had that little planner where she was outlining exactly what to do with hers, and then he was able to then use that framework so that he could be better with money as well.
Yeah, mine was related to that because not only did he talk about having the inspiration to set these big goals, but then also putting a system in place, whether it be surrounding yourself with the right people, asking questions, teaching himself about finance, all those things. I thought it was a fantastic lesson.
If you liked our chat with Karamo, good news. There are more amazing guests to come on future episodes of Richer Lives. Let us know in the comments who you'd want to see us interview about their money. And don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell to get notified of future episodes.
You can also find SoFi on TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, and of course, on your phone.
You know, Brian, the thing that really sticks with me about all of these conversations is just how unique every single person's journey to a richer life really is. There's no two journeys that are alike.
Totally. That's why everything that we talk about is going to be unique to the person that we're talking to. And what I hope is that this inspires people to kind of seek out a financial planner on their own. So that way that financial planner can work through and figure out what their goals are and ultimately figure out the path to help them reach those goals. So that way they can be more financially confident and in a better spot.
I'm hitting pause because there's a good chance that many of our viewers don't really understand what exactly that means. So can you explain to us what a financial planner does?
Good idea. You know, I kind of like to say that a financial planner is kind of like a therapist, but for your finances. They help you figure out what to do with your money to reach your ambitions. And, you know, a lot of people assume that you have to have a certain amount of money or be in a certain spot in life in order to have a financial planner. And honestly, that's not true. Well, I mean, at least at SoFi. So our team of credentialed financial planners work with people to help them figure out what's in their best interest and the best thing that they should do with their money. They're not going to be making any recommendations, selling your products, anything like that. They're really there at no additional cost to all of our members.
I so encourage this. The best part is it's complimentary for SoFi members. All you need to do is become a member and make an appointment at SoFi.com/no-cost financial planning or go to the member benefits section of the SoFi app.
That's it for this episode. See you next time. Hi again, it's me, Brian Walsh, aka Dr. Money, here to talk about some legal stuff. Though I am a certified financial planner certificate, your finances are unique. That means anything I talked about today shouldn't be considered advice. Think about it more as high-level education or guidance. Also, please subscribe to our channel.
When like your car is being towed and your mama's calling you and Sally Mae's calling you. Andrew, was that a cute trip? Yes, it was. Am I your favorite brother?